Hi, I'm Eoghan. We're here with Cannabis Activists Ireland. It's April the 20th, 2002, and it's a beautiful day here in the Garden of Remembrance. We're here at the March for Change for the legalization of cannabis. We're going to be marching from here down O'Connell Street and to the Dáil to raise awareness for cannabis legalization. There's lots and lots of beautiful people here, so we're going to talk to them, see what they think, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We live in a system of prohibition. We live in a system where it criminalises people for the use of cannabis, the cultivation of cannabis and the sale of cannabis. In that system, it criminalises people, it brings people through the criminal justice system, sends people to jail and gives them criminal records. Now if anybody thinks that system is a system that works, well, they're in the minority at this moment in time. There's a growing movement across the world that want to see the ending of prohibition.
As an endometriosis and chronic pain sufferer, have already had to travel across Europe for treatment, for surgery. I shouldn't have to be going abroad to treat my chronic pain long term. I suffer with the most aggressive benign disease there is, and I'm often left debilitated. The fact I'm even here today is really great, and I have a wheelchair to take me on the march today because I wouldn't be able to go otherwise. So cannabis is the only thing that helps me. It's the only thing that gives me some quality of life, and I don't feel like I should be persecuted or criminalised or demonised for using the one thing that helps me get through the day with debilitating pain.
I think we're coming to the juncture of a movement and a kind of a seismic moment that, you know, when you put the evidence on the table to the citizens of this country to say, look, is by criminalising and making something illegal safer for everybody? And I think there's a majority in this country now will say no.
Plant the seed.
Free the weed.
What do we want?
Safe access.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Safe access.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Safe access.
When do we want it?
Now.
Plant the seed.
Free the weed.
Plant the seed.
Free the weed.
Plant the seed.
Free the weed.
What do we want?
Safe access.
When do we want it?
Now.
At first I started because I was just lost, didn't know where to be going. I had untreated ADHD. I was never medicated, so do you know what I mean? I was actually never medicated for it, so I found that cannabis actually really helped me steady and find myself, and it just became something that I actually used over time. And like, you know, it's people go through stuff in their life, and we all find, I mean, people are addicted to coffee every morning. We all have our things that keeps us going, do you know what I mean? And for me, it's cannabis. Like, I think I'd be lost without it.
Definitely,
like, you know what I mean?
definitely.
I was failed by the system and the mental health services, so what else is there to be doing, do you know what I mean? And I think it really has helped me, like, a whole lot of a bunch of it.
Legalize! Cannabis use! Cannabis use! Plant the seed! Plant the seed! Legalize!
Don't criminalise!
Legalize!
Don't criminalize.
Legalize!
Don't criminalize.
Legalize!
Don't criminalize.
I'll always be the optimist and say that it's 12 months. In the next 12 months, when it could happen. We have Gino's bill. He's going to be publishing that in July, so that falls within that scope. If his bill goes forward, gets voted on, then potentially we could see cannabis decriminalised and possibly legalised there in Ireland then within the next 12 months.
Us as cannabis consumers are not accepted in the society, and they deem it that there's laws there to take us out for as long as I believe that it's a year, up to a year you can get taken out of society for your use of cannabis. That's what they done to the gay community many years ago. They treated them like criminals. They would lock them up. Sodomy, was it buggery? These were some of the terms. That's again some of the derogatory ways in which they dehumanise people, and that's exactly what they do to us as cannabis consumers in our society.
What has been promised to us is the bill, and it's because it's not easy to get done, let me tell you, and Gino's doing his best, I'm doing my best, but we have to get that bill through, and it's days like this that are going to make them realise that they actually have to do it.
Like, as much as cannabis is not that harmful, there are drugs out there that are very harmful. People shouldn't be criminalised for taking them, but the ones that do and the ones that fall into health issues or even criminal issues as a result should be given the support they need to get themselves back on their feet.
Are you a regular smoker? Are you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What's your favourite way to smoke?
The bong. I smoke
The bong.
I got past this, I don't know, James.
It's nice for when you're out, but yeah, the bong is...
Oh, the bong comes everywhere.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 420.
Hi, we're in Phoenix Park. There's a great number of people here fighting the fight, fighting the good cause, and we're gonna hopefully talk to some of them, see what they think about cannabis legalization in Ireland. They say size doesn't matter. Yeah, thanks for, nice to meet you guys.
What's your name?
My name's Owen.
Oh, hello, Finn.
Your parents are watching this.
Yeah.
It's good for my mental health, it's good for my well-being. It helps me be creative, be social with people, have conversations like this. A lot of my friends are stoners. You know who you are.
My son had cancer, so he has it from pain. You know, he had a form of sarcoma and he's a quite large tumour on his back, which was misdiagnosed. I don't blame the health system, but his form is so rare. I don't blame anybody, but I do blame the state for what they're doing now. They are abusing him mentally and torture me every 6 months to have to reapply for a licence. And illness doesn't go away. His illness is so rare, the doctors themselves didn't know it. So how is he ever going to fit into a box? How is he ever going to tick boxes to fall under it as anything? It just doesn't happen.
Look, this one goes out to the stoners, early morning joint flowers, fat cone rollers. This one goes out to those that wake up and smile with a rising sun. This one goes out to the boys that can't even hold their own weight, but still take another drag off the joint because it tastes bleeding whopper, doesn't it?
So if enough people email their TDs, email their MEPs, email their county councillors, email the Taoiseach, email the ministers, it puts pressure on them to have a think about it and scratch their heads and go, will this affect me at the ballot box the next time? So the more people who do that, the more likely they are to listen to it.
Now 25 years ago when I started doing this, I was talking about we need to legalise cannabis, and in theory this is what would happen if you did it. We no longer have to do that. It isn't a theory anymore. It isn't a theory for Uruguay. It isn't a theory for many states in the United States of America. It isn't going to be a theory in Germany in the future. It isn't a theory in Malta. It isn't a theory when it comes to social clubs in Spain. It isn't a theory to say the world won't fall apart. It isn't a theory to say you'll all end up as heroin addicts because of the gateway theory. It isn't a theory anymore. We have proven on this planet that if you regulate, it is safer and it is better for absolutely everyone, bar the gangsters.
And it's something that was here long before any of us were here. And it's something that's going to be here long after we all die. At the end of the day, we're just connecting with nature. So let us connect with our mother. Nice, thank you.
So that's a wrap on 420 2022. We've made a lot of new friends and heard a lot of inspiring stories here, and it seems like everyone here pretty much wants the same thing, which is safe access to legal cannabis in Ireland. How far we are away from that at the moment is still up in the air, but it's important to ask yourself what you can do all year round and not just on 420 to fight for cannabis legalization in Ireland. So we'll see what happens with it.